Hi everyone, today let us learn about unsaturated compounds. There are double bonds and triple bonds between carbon atoms. Unsaturated compounds are alkenes or also aromatic compounds. They dissolve in non-polar solvent because alkenes are non-polar molecule. And when bromine water is added to it, bromine water becomes decolorized. This proves that there is a double bond in the compound, that is unsaturation, and apart from that they give addition reaction and also hydrogenation reactions. So now let us know the general formula of alkenes. It is CnH2n. Some examples are ethene, propene, butene, pentene, hexene and heptene. So as I already told in the last video for saturated compounds, for unsaturated compounds also we can go on writing the homologous series for alkene, that is by taking n is equal to 2. So here for alkene the minimum number of carbon atoms must be 2 because with one carbon atom there cannot be a double bond. So that's why the first member of alkene will be ethene, C2H4. That is when if we substitute N is equal to 2, then we get C2H2 into 2 4, C2H4, and then subsequent group would be propene with C3H6, butene C4H8. So here again we can observe that by adding CH2 unit, we can get the next member of the series. So if I add CH2 to ethene, so I get propene, that is C3H6. Similarly, if I add CH2 to propene, that is C3H6, I will get C4H8 and so on. Now next let us learn to write the structure for ethene. So first of all, we know that carbon atom, eth is always having 2 carbon. The root word is 2. So it means there are 2 carbon atoms. And since it is an ene, so ene always has one double bond. So first if I write down or complete writing the carbon atoms and the number of bonds between them. Now since I already know the valency of carbon is 4, so I should make sure that every carbon will have 4 bonds around it. So I will write the remaining bonds with hydrogen. So C2H4 will be the formula for molecular formula of ethene, and this is the structure of ethene. Similarly, next if I take the next molecule propene, so first of all prop is having 3 carbon, and then since it is an ene, again a double bond. Either I can write between C1 C2 or C2 C3 also. Now the remaining carbon atoms, I mean all the 3 carbon atoms must be having 4 bonds around it. That shows that shows that valency of carbon is 4. So now when I look at carbon number 1, so there are 2 bonds, so remaining I will write 2 other bonds and make it 4. Similarly, the middle carbon, you see there are 3 bonds, and now one more bond I will write 4, and the terminal carbon that is on the right side, this carbon is again having only 1, so remaining will be having, I should be writing 3 hydrogen. So totally this is the structure of propene and the molecular formula will be C3H6. Okay, so this is how I write propene. Next, if I have to write butene, so but is having 4 carbon atom, and since it is an ene, again I can write between C1 C2 or C2 C3 or C3 C4 also. So anyway I can write only one double bond. Now again looking at the carbon atom, that's the valence of carbon atom, there should be 4 bonds around hydrogen. So now carbon 1 is satisfied, 4 bonds. Now now when you look at carbon 2, there are 3 bonds, so one more bond I'll write. Carbon 3 is having 2 bonds, so 2 more I'll write to make it 4. And carbon 4 is having 1, so I will write 3 bonds to make it 4. So with more practice you can understand, and you will also be very quick in writing the structure, whatever type of question they are given. So the formula, the molecular this is the structural formula. The molecular formula will be C4 C4H8. Now the next member would be pentene. Pentene molecular formula will be C5H10 and so on. So again let us learn to write pentene. So 5 pent is 5 carbon atom, and if I write a double bond here at C1 and C2, so remaining I should be filling with 2 hydrogen. So C1 valence is satisfied. C2 is having 3 bonds, so 1 bond I will write extra. And here C3 is having 2 bonds, so totally now that it is 4. Again C2 is having 2, so I should write 2 more bonds and make it 4. And C5 is having 1 bond, and I will write remaining 3 bonds and make it make the valency satisfied. So this is how we write the structure for carbon. So always make for pentene. So make sure every carbon is having 4 bonds around it. That is valency of carbon is 4. So there must be the valency of carbon must be satisfied. So make sure that every carbon is having 4 bonds around it. So usually since it is hydrocarbon, we can only expect hydrogen and a carbon only. So again here coming to the molecular formula, it would be C5H10. So now next let us learn about the difference between saturated and unsaturated compounds. So first difference would be saturated compounds have only single bonds. Unsaturated compounds have double bonds or triple bonds between carbon atoms. Second difference would be example alkanes and cyclic alkane for saturated. Under unsaturated we can have alkenes, alkynes, and also aromatic hydrocarbon. And for saturated compounds they usually give clean flame. So when we burn saturated compounds like LPG, CNG, so usually they are giving clean flame. That is that they are undergoing complete combustion, so that's why they give clean flame. Whereas unsaturated compounds, for example if you burn camphor or if you even burn a piece of wood, so it is mainly giving sooty flame because they are primarily made of unsaturated carbon compounds. And the fourth example would be saturated fatty acids. Yeah, some of the examples for saturated compounds would be saturated fatty acids like buttermilk, ghee, coconut cream. And for unsaturated fatty acid, it would be most of the oils and nuts. And also avocado. So this is all about the difference between saturated and unsaturated. Thank you.